welcome back to Espresso with Saul. Today we're going to have a shot of espresso, and we're going to have a little bit of show and tell and stories about Paul Harrell again. You might be wondering why this dirty backpack is sitting on the countertop with me. Well, my wife's wondering the same thing too. I want to say back in, I think it was December of 23, Paul was getting his affairs in order. Plus, I was just helping and hanging out with him and doing different things with him at the time. And Paul asks me, what of my things that I have that I'm not selling would you like to keep to remember me by? I didn't hesitate. I knew exactly what I wanted. I said, I'd like your backpack, Paul. Now, Paul had had this backpack for 20 some odd years. I don't know how long he's had it. It's been with him for as long as I can remember. I tried finding one like it, never could. This is his 3-day pack. He uses it as a ready pack. He can switch things out and take it for, hunting and everything else. It's just been a great overall pack for what we use it for. I mean, the size, it's not too big. It's not too small. It just seems to fit everything in it. So I told him I wanted that, and he looks at it, and he kind of pauses, and he says, yeah, that's been a really good pack. He quietly emptied out the pack and handed it to me. I brought it home, threw it in the washing machine, and then I know it doesn't look like it because now I use it every day. I filled it up with my 3-day pack. I have it with me all of the time. Reminds me of my friend Paul. And yeah, that's why it's sitting here on the countertop. A couple more things to show you. I had this in a previous video. This is my Smith & Wesson Model 59. It's a double stack 9mm. It is a single to double action auto loader. It's a cool pistol. Paul had this a long time ago. More on this in a minute. I also have, this is a Marlin Camp 9mm semi-auto carbine. I think it's really cool. The best part about it is it uses the exact same magazines that the handgun does. I have 30s and 20s and 14s, 15s, and 16s all the way down to 10-round magazines for it. It was a long time ago. I don't remember exactly when. Paul had a video on this. It was why carry a rifle of the same caliber as your handgun. And I don't remember if, I must have purchased it around that time, if not before. Because what Paul had done is he had went out and purchased the Beretta Storm. And that used the same magazines that his Beretta Model 92 did. So he brought this to me and said, I don't need this anymore. I have a 9mm handgun and carbine combo already. Would you like it? Well, I didn't really need another double stack 9mm, but the fact that it came with this Camp 9 and he'd already sourced out 10 magazines to go with it, yeah, I definitely want it. Plus, back when I didn't have a lot of firearms, I had used this quite a bit. I probably scratched it up, myself on several occasions. I'd had fun with it. I'd trained with it. And this is the rifle that my oldest son, Kyle, shot his first jackrabbit with. Jackrabbit hunting was something that Paul loved to do, and I was out there. It was just me, Paul, and my oldest son, Kyle. We were trying to teach him the ropes, explain what to do. Well, we see a jackrabbit, and Paul's like, there's one, Kyle, let him have it. So Kyle raises this carbine up, aims. Boy, he was perfect for windage. Fires, The round hits about 3 feet in front of that jackrabbit, ricochets up, and dead center, kills it. That's one way to kill a jackrabbit. Yeah, this is very cool. It was owned by Paul a long time ago. I purchased it from him well before he passed. So that's why I figured I'd bring these out, show these to you. I think we'll have a couple stories next after we have some espresso. Had a viewer post up in one of the comments. In the comments, he was looking up stuff about espresso, and apparently, this is according to what he said, that the espresso is better if poured into one glass. Apparently, it helps with the layers and the crema and all sorts of things. Hey, look, I'm not a barista. I don't know. But I thought, might as well give it a whirl. I can do that. I'd always seen people using different, multiple shot glasses for it. But yeah, I could definitely pour it into one and see how it goes. Oh, by the way, yes, I did grind it before the video started. And yes, it was still at a number 6 grind for 11 seconds. That's looking good. I don't know if it's going to taste any different, but it sure looks good. Okay, here we go. I should probably turn the machine to face you guys a little bit more. There we go. And here is my shot of espresso. Looks delicious. But once again, the proof is in the drinking. That tastes really good. Does it taste better than when I have 2 shot glasses? I don't know if I can taste the difference. Let me try again. I don't know if I can taste the difference, but I will tell you it tastes fantastic. All right, back to the stories. Oh yeah, we've gone over the pack. We've gone over my 9mm combo here. Fantastic set. Now, I was thinking about telling you guys stories in a kind of a chronological order, but the fact of the matter is I'm not going to remember all the stories that I have, and some of them are just going to be little shorties, and some of them may be more longer, more in-depth stories. But yeah, I'm not going to remember them in order. And some people were asking about hunting stories specifically, or shooting stories. So, you know what? I've got a couple hunting stories for you today. Let's see, the first story, Paul and I was Paul's primary hunting partner for deer. And hunted with him for many years. And when my oldest son, Kyle, was old enough and actually drew the tags at the same time that we did, we would take him out hunting also. We were in Sled Springs, northeastern Oregon, and the 3 of us were fairly close to one another, and Paul stumbled upon a gut pile. Now, gut piles where somebody has already skinned and gutted. Well, the skin may or may not be there, but the guts are definitely there from a previous kill. He motions for us to come over, take a look, see what he found. And my oldest son, Kyle, says, "Why is that all blown up like a balloon?" Well, what's Paul do? In typical Paul fashion, he doesn't say anything. He just takes his boot and pushes all the air out of that rancid gut pile. and leaves Kyle running off to the hills, gagging. That's Paul for you. That is Paul. Let's see. The next story I'll tell you. We were doe hunting. And we were doe hunting outside of Joseph, Oregon. We were actually hunting on private property. So we could only hunt on this one specific stretch of property. And surrounding us was more private property. In the mornings and in the evenings, we would take it pretty serious, but after 2 or 3 hours, if we haven't already bagged our does, typically things slow down in the afternoon, and we would either stand around telling stories or sit inside the vehicle, and we'd be glassing the area around us, taking a look on all the other private properties that we can't hunt on. And what we would do is we just see if there are animals out there and movements of animals. You know, more stories in the future about that, because we had a few doozies. But this particular time, we're standing outside our vehicle and we're just talking. I don't remember what we were talking about, but a doe walks up on us. And we both standing there looking at that doe. And Paul says, "Boy, that one looks awfully small." And I'm like, yeah, it kind of does. "Well, we haven't seen anything today. You think we should shoot it?" And as we're just talking back and forth in fairly normal tones with this deer standing there. "Well, how far do you think it is away from us?" "Oh, 30, 35 yards? Yeah, that looks about right." "Yeah, it's kind of small," but Paul decides, you know what? I'm going to shoot it with my handgun. Now, this is a center fire rifles are prohibited hunt. So you can shoot with a handgun, a shotgun, black powder rifles, or you can, I think that was it. Handgun, shotgun, black powder rifles. Yeah, that was the extent of it. So what's Paul have on his hip? He has his BFR 444 Marlin handgun. Well, that's more powerful than some rifles out there. But, you know, look, gun laws don't always make sense. And this one sure doesn't. Anyway, he says, you know, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shoot it with my pistol, and you back me up with a shotgun. That way, if I miss or if I don't hit it solid, we can just finish it and call it good. Okay, sounds good to me. Let's do it. Brings his pistol up and fires. That deer doesn't flinch. Nothing. It just starts running. Well, I shoot it with my shotgun, and it falls over dead. I'm like, got it. Well, we walk over to this deer, and it turns out this deer wasn't 30 to 35 yards away. It was more like 65 to 70 yards away, well beyond the range of my shotgun. The pattern at that range is very large, so I would have been lucky to hit it at all. We gutted it and skinned it. We found that Paul actually hit it with a lethal shot, and that's actually what killed it. All I had was one pellet on that deer, and it was in the shoulder. Good times. Those are the type of things that Paul and I did when we were hunting. We just, always had something weird happen to us. Always just, fun stuff that I look back upon. Well, look, if you've stuck around and listened to me talk this whole time, thank you very much. And I'll have more coming up for you guys here very soon. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.